With the release of Wuthering Waves just weeks ahead, there is a lot of anticipation in the gacha space. If you look for content prior to release, you're unlikely to find videos from some familiar names and large CCs within the gacha space, specifically those affiliated with Hoyoverse. My name is Saint Tontus, and I'm here to talk with you today about why this strange phenomenon is happening. Wuthering Waves has very large headwinds. Genshin Impact is its main competition, a game that has a massive budget, a massive revenue, and a massive community of both players and content creators dedicated to the scene. Wuthering Waves is the first genuine competitor that Genshin has seen in this space. It has an open world, it's an action RPG, it has some shift in gameplay mechanics like parries, time slowdown, and turtle transformations, but that same core gameplay loop of exploring the world, unlocking chests, killing monsters and bosses, while also grinding forever on an RNG gear treadmill. The biggest draw towards Wuthering Waves is its proposed endgame. There have been a lot of CCs in the Genshin space that have cited a lack of endgame as one of their biggest frustrations. It's been 4.5 years without much content to actually use your fully built characters on. Wuthering Waves seems to check off a lot of the boxes that Genshin left blank, directly appealing to general online viewpoints that are shared by both niche communities and the biggest creators alike. So why is nobody talking about it? Kuro Games, a publisher best known for their previous gacha action game, Punishing Gray Raven, has started aggressively marketing to the gacha community. Some of the tactics that they've employed include pre-release gacha pulls, where players can choose an echo, or essentially a monster skill that they can use in combat prior to release. The second one that they've used is cosplayers. Kuro Games has an official expenditure category for cosplayers to go on a nationwide road trip in the United States, make major stops at cities like Los Angeles, San Francisco, and New York, and live stream and advertise for the game the entire time. All of these marketing posts, along with character drip teasing, so on and so forth, have seen a fair amount of engagement on Twitter. However, there isn't a single quote retweet, reply, or mention from some of the most prominent Hoyo creators. It's a new game in the same genre with fresh mechanics, and most importantly, an untapped player base to create content for. Why is there so little engagement? Their job is to create content for video games, and this is an amazing opportunity for their careers. Well, the answer to that is simple. They are not making content for video games because they are making content for video games. Let me explain. Zenless Zone Zero is an upcoming gacha game developed by Hoyoverse that is launching in a similar timeframe to Wuthering Waves. Here's a retweet from Shinya, a recent creator in the Wuthering Waves space, that depicts a leaked ZZZ preferred creator contract that outlines the tasks, responsibilities, and most importantly, the restrictions on the creators. If creators accept this contract, any future sponsorship offers they receive must be approved by Yomiholic, or MiHoYo's strong arm ad agency. Yomiholic can then decline any sponsorships on the creator's behalf that could be detrimental to ZZZ or the creator's reputation. At this point, you might be connecting the dots for as to why there just isn't that much hype surrounding Wuthering Waves. Hoyoverse is a predator in the content creator ecosystem. They have created a hyper-competitive landscape where creators have a massive advantage if they can make the first move. The first iteration of this process began with Honkai Star Rail and the release of Acheron. IWTLGaming and Braxophone, who are two preferred creators in the program, experienced massive success for their creations of her guide. This creates an enormous amount of downward pressure on every other creator in the space. Questions come to mind. How do I compete? How do I get access to? Is my channel dead? This is fear, uncertainty, and doubt. If your livelihood is threatened, which is the case for many creators who can no longer compete under these conditions, they begin making less rational decisions. These are people in their mid-20s, perhaps even younger, who have never worked a corporate role in their lives. Hoyo is creating an environment where the only way to compete is to become a preferred creator, or consistently play days if not weeks behind your competitors. Could you blame anybody for signing this thing? Hoyo has utilized a content creator's fear for their livelihood to bind them in an ambiguous non-compete agreement. It's a little ironic that Honkai Star Rail's most recent character release, Robin, actually symbolizes a caged bird, while these contracts would serve a similar role as a cage to these creators' careers. As a result, Wuthering Waves will not have a lot of familiar faces in the content scene on release. You're gonna have a lot of people who cannot legally make content for this game. And if you're someone like me, who developed in the gacha space and was introduced to the gacha space through Hoyoverse games, that's going to be a little bit uncomfortable. There are, however, many up-and-coming creators that are hyper-focused and dedicated to the Wuthering Waves scene. Some people like Shinya, Narushio, and Tenten. There are also numerous developed creators like Gacha Smack, Mtashed, Tectone, who are explicitly non-Hoyo affiliated that will doubtless be playing this game. And most importantly, related to what I said before, if you never see Dish, you never see Doro, you never see Ziox actually streaming this game, it's not because Wuthering Waves is bad, it's not because it's low quality, it's not because the gacha is bad or the character design is bad. It's not because of any of those things. It's because they are not legally allowed to touch the game or cover it for the near future. I personally wanted to get involved in this scene myself as a new and upcoming creator, and I just wanted to do my part for the community to show that this game is not dead on arrival. It's going to be perfectly fine.